Yep. And the number in the letter, which one?
So whichever one match. Even if it's 100 times 10, it's a grand. If it's 20, it's $2,000. If it's 50, I got 100. Look at that. 100 times, but I haven't scratched none of them. I gotta find. I don't know. I don't believe in it personally.
You might want to believe in it.
Yeah.
If you're 100
All
times.
I want is a $10 one. I'll
Hey,
take a $5 one.
Even if you get 100, even if you get $1, you're going to get 100.
So do somebody need to read that in?
They don't need, they just need to,
Having the appointed time of 5:30 arrived, I would like to call Wednesday, December 27, 2023 Committee of the Whole to order. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Play ball.
Mr. Clerk, would you please take the roll?
will do. Alderman Redpath.
Here.
Alderman Gregory.
Here.
Alderman Williams.
Here.
Alderman Rockford.
Here.
Alderwoman Purchase.
Here.
Alderwoman Nortoriano.
Here.
Alderman Carlson.
Here.
Alderwoman Connolly.
Present.
Alderman Donlin.
Here.
Alderman Hanauer.
Present.
Madam Chair, a quorum is present.
Thank you. I would accept the motion for approval of December 12, 2023 committee minutes.
So moved.
All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Are there any presentations?
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next, we will have the ordinances table or remaining in committee. Mr. Clerk, could you please read those ordinances if there's anyone who would like to remove any of these ordinances from committee?
2023-582.
Nope. We don't have any. Okay, moving right along. Now, ordinances for committee consideration.
CWLP 2023-583, an ordinance accepting bids and authorizing the execution of contract UE 24-10-69 electric construction contract services for electric transmission and distribution division with Aspelin Construction, LLC, the L.E. Myers Company, and the Capital Construction Group, LLC, doing business as the GC Electric, in the amount not to exceed $4,200,000 for the electric division for the Office of Public Utilities.
Move for consent.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-584, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of capacitor blank controllers from Telescata in the amount not to exceed $183,500 for the Office of Public Utilities.
Move for consent.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-585, an ordinance accepting demonstration of energy and efficiency development deed grant from the American Public Power Association, APPA, in the amount of $115,000 for the Office of Public Utilities.
Move for consent.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Public Works, 2023-586, an ordinance authorizing execution of annexation agreement with Amy Coates for property located at 2231 North 4th Street for the Office of Public Works.
Move for debate.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-587, an ordinance authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with Sangamon County for the conveyance and permanent easements and a temporary construction easement to the county for the construction, use, and maintenance of platforms, cart paths, and pedestrian bridges for the Springfield-Sangamon County Transportation Center for the Office of Public Works.
Move for consent.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it.
2023-588, an ordinance declaring surplus property and authorizing execution of an intergovernmental agreement with Sangamon Mass Transit District and the City of Springfield for sale of said excess parcel for an amount not to exceed $62,776.64 for the Office of Public Works.
Move for consent.
Second.
Any discussion? Alderwoman Nutriano.
Thank you, Chair. I just had a question about how long we had owned this parcel.
What parcel is this?
I couldn't say exactly how long we've owned it, but we obtained it during the rail relocation process. It is adjacent to the SMTD yard as well as the railroad right-of-way, and it would be accessible from SMTD, and they could use it for material storage. It's actually just east of 9th Street. It's between Cass and Scarrett. But we acquired it during the high-speed rail upgrade.
Okay, I was just wondering, I didn't see like any valuation of the property, like fair market value or,
I'd be glad to get that for you.
okay, thanks.
Alderman Gregory.
I was just going to say, I did receive a call from the good folks of Sangamon Mass Transit with a description of what they were doing. And, you know, that area has some vacant and some lots and things that they are looking to expand a garage on. And I certainly support it, and I support the information that Alderwoman asked for.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it.
General City Business, 2023-589, an ordinance authorizing payment in the amount of $37,484.39 to James Stewart, a Springfield Police Department officer, for settlement of workman's compensation claim for case number 21-WC-020845.
Move for consent.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it.
2023-590, an ordinance approving the engagement letter with Hart, Southworth, and Witzman for legal services as bond counsel for the City of Springfield for the Office of Corporation Counsel.
Move for consent.
Second.
I would say that we move for committee, just to make sure all the bond things go through. Debate, excuse me.
It is.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it.
2023-591, an ordinance proposing extension of the term and life the existing Legacy Point Special Service Area, the issuance of Special Service Area refunding bonds in an amount not to exceed $17 million to finance pay and refinance cost of certain special services, and setting a date and providing notice for a related public hearing.
Move for debate.
Second.
Any discussion?
I think do we have an amendment?
We have a proposed amendment, yeah.
I propose amendment 1.
Mr. Clerk, could you please read that?
Sure. An ordinance proposing the extension of an effective period for the existing Legacy Point Special Service Area, the issuance of Special Service Area bonds in an amount not to exceed $17 million to pay costs of certain special services, and setting a date and providing notice for a related public hearing for the Office of Corporation Counsel as amended.
Any discussion? Alderman Williams.
Yeah, so, corporate counsel, this 17 million is our portion of the deal?
Well, this 17 million is a portion of the total package that we have put together for financing. This particular portion, these bonds will be used for infrastructure, and the infrastructure, the specific infrastructure is laid out in the agreement as attached, broken down by project and estimated costs. This particular ordinance extends the special service area tax and expands the special service area across MacArthur Boulevard, and extends that tax for the duration of the project. So this is not the total portion, this is the special service area portion. So there's still general bonds that will be issued, there's interim bonds that will be issued. The general bonds and those interim bonds are are backed by the business district, which was expanded earlier this year by council.
Okay, so this 17 million, well, let me ask it a different way. So the developer is not required to have his portion, his 17 million in place?
So this is still subject to the second redevelopment agreement. So this authorizes bonds to be issued. This does not issue the bonds, but this authorizes the bonds, and sets a hearing date of March 5th. Proposed Amendment 1 sets the hearing date, but for March 5th. But in order for us to issue the bonds and then to actually pay out on the bonds, we're still on the 50-50 contribution. So it takes 60 days public notice, or it takes 60 days of passage of this ordinance before we can have a public hearing. So we're starting it now, but these bonds will not be issued until at least March. And the bonds are backed by the taxes.
Okay, so, but again, is the developer ever in this process required to have his 17 million in place along with the other fees and other permits and things of that such?
Yes, we will not pay any contribution unless and until the developer shows that they have paid an amount, and then we will match the 50%. So that requirement's governed by the second redevelopment agreement, which would cover these bonds.
And we'll see that before the bonds are issued, that he has his portion in place.
Well, the bonds authorize payment. We will not pay out on the bonds until we see his portions.
Okay, and then my second question deals with, well, I guess it deals with reimbursements in general. You know, I was looking back at some previous city councils, and I saw where, for example, like, it's a different fund, it's TIF, but it's the same principle. When we do reimbursables, do we do them on the front end or the back end? Because in particular, the one I was looking at, Alderman Donnellan made a point of that they should be on the rear end, and that guarantees the completion of the project. So I'm trying to see, with this reimbursable situation, will we be applying the same principle?
Right. So yes, our agreement is on a reimbursement basis. So it's for costs paid, and it's a reimbursement grant. So they're going to need to put in, and we will then reimburse for that payment.
Okay, so, but you get an invoice and all that, nothing up front?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Williams. Alderman Hanauer.
So what this is this is just getting 17 million in bonds. We're not paying out 17 million all at once. Right?
That's correct. Yeah, this just authorizes the bonds backed and extends the special service area,
right,
which is what we need to do to give credit to those bonds.
Right, and so as we need to dip into this, it's kind of in a sense like a savings account, so to speak, right?
Right, it's funding that's available to the city
right,
to help pay, and then backed by the collateral that we put forth is the tax that
right,
we have in the special service area.
And so, you know, when they submit something, they have to show that they've paid half of it, and then we pay the other half, and you know, as per our agreement that I think we all got a copy of, right?
Right. Yeah. Everyone has a copy of the, or if you need a copy, I'm happy to provide a copy. But this council voted to approve the second amended redevelopment
right,
agreement. And if you look on Exhibit A to this ordinance, it actually specifies the estimated costs of the project itself. And what infrastructure, again, this is infrastructure only.
Right.
The special
We've set a
service
limit. We've set a limit on what our portion is. Even if they overspend, we're not going 50%. If they want to spend $100 million, we're not going to 50. It's
30, I think.
Right, we have a cap in the second amended redevelopment agreement.
Okay, and then I think that, and you're right, we do have a portion on TIF projects to where they have to wait until the end to get their money, but I don't think that that was part of this agreement. Am I correct, or was?
Well, this agreement specifies
different
when
deal.
we can pay out and how to pay out and who we can pay. And so that's laid out specifically in the second redevelopment agreement.
Okay. And the reason why I'm asking this question, there were some things out there that the last thing we did was a loan. We're not, these are payments that we're giving, we're paying for either, for services that's happened, or we're paying for, I think that there were some heaters or something, for the dome or something, we were paying for that. These are not loans. This is just simply what our portion of the project is, right?
That's correct. Now those expenditures are subject to the second redevelopment agreement, but we couldn't pay out of these bonds. So
Right,
okay.
right. It's different from here. I'm just
Yes.
asking in general about the projects.
Right, yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Hanauer. Alderman Gregory.
Thank you, and I'll be quick. And that last ordinance that we did pass for the blower or whatever, that's sort of like where my problem was with it is that in my mind, we're 50-50, you know, on the project. You pay for whatever you move dirt-wise, we pay our half, and on until this project is completed. So, you know, we definitely want to see it. So I'm more interested in just language that ensures that we're protected. You know, there's been, you know, articles and things sent around. I don't know if some of you've got them, but, you know, there's been a situation similar to what we're in Arizona, where the bondholders almost lost all of their money. So I want to make sure that we are protected, because, you know, I don't want us to be in a situation where down the line, whatever, something happens, we go have anything type of happen, and now, you know, our this bond thing, and now we're in a bad deal situation. So have you looked at that? And, you know, I'm not going to profess and sit up here and act like, this is why questions are very important, because I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm a financial genius or anything like that. I'm asking these questions because I want to understand, I want to make educated decisions. I want to see the east side of town on the videos, and I want this to work, no doubt about it. You know, we really want this to benefit our whole city, and that's always been my goal. So with that, Corporation Counsel, help me out.
Absolutely. So this does not commit the city to actually issue the bonds and to make payments. This is very similar to the interim bonds that were approved in September of this year. So about a little over $2 million of interim bonds were approved at that time. The city still has not issued that bonds. We haven't gone through that process yet because, as we discussed at the last meeting, the financing commitments weren't fully there. We still have not issued those bonds, and this is similar. So again, we're talking months down the road. We're going to keep an eye, and we're not committed to we're committing to having a public hearing on March 5th. But if any of the protections that we've discussed at prior meetings, if those aren't met, if the city's not happy, then this ordinance will not commit us to actually issuing the bonds when the time comes. Okay. But it starts the process of extending that special service area and issuing these bonds backed by that.
Somewhat. That partly answers my question. So let me ask you this, Corporation Counsel, this way. If we have to pay something for infrastructure out of the bonds, that, you know, this passes, we go to February, we have that hearing, we move forth, and we say, okay, we're going to issue these bonds, and we're there, we're at that point, we got these bonds, and something goes wrong with this project, what happens?
So, and just to be completely clear, this is a hypothetical.
It is.
We are not
Absolutely
close to that.
hypothetical.
But then you're looking at civil remedies and contractual remedies to recoup that if the project goes south.
Okay.
And we're into, you know, looking at the contract and seeing why they cannot fulfill their contractual obligations and having discussions as a group about how we want to proceed based on our rights under the contract.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Gregory. Alderman Redpath.
So this is not a disbursement ordinance. The disbursement ordinance has to come back to us when we're ready to disperse those funds, correct?
This authorizes the bonds, but yes, if we're going to pay out of this, the council will know that the bonds have been issued, and then the council will know when payments are made.
Does that require a vote?
It would depend on the disbursement itself, but I believe we're going to bring ongoing disbursements to the council for approval, because the expenses would be higher than authorized. So this doesn't authorize any expenditure of funds.
That's all I want to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Redpath. Alderman Donovan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Counselor, if, fast forward, when we do proceed with, assuming that we proceed with issuing the bonds, and they're, as you stated earlier, they're backed by these revenues per the development agreement as amended, are we obligating any, let's say, like general obligation revenues of the city, like real estate taxes or anything of that nature?
Not for these bonds. These bonds are backed by the sales tax generated by the Legacy Sports Park Complex, and then any sales tax generated across the street, across MacArthur Boulevard, if that's ever developed.
Okay, so we're not, just being clear, again, the safeguards that have been put in this and in the agreement as amended, that we're not obligating, if things go bad, that we're not obligating the, let's say, real estate taxes as an example, from the general city as a whole.
That's correct. These are an extension of the special service area bonds that have previously been approved by council. So
Thank you.
Yep.
Making sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Donovan. So we're going to bring this back around. So I heard a motion from Alderman Hanauer, but I didn't hear a second.
Second for the amendment.
Okay, and then may I have a motion and a second as amended?
Aye.
Aye.
I think that
Oh.
was the motion.
We have to vote on the amendment first.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Amendment first, right?
So all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Now can I have a motion and a second as amended?
So moved.
Second.
For the
And-
debate agenda, right?
For the debate agenda.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-592, an ordinance amending Chapter 90, Section 90.24.1 of the 1988 State of Springfield Code of Ordinances as amended pertaining to penalties for failure to make timely renewal of liquor licenses, permits, or certificate fees.
Motion for consent.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah. Well,
Alderman Hanauer?
have we been having problems anybody, I don't know who, I guess, Greg, do you know, are we having problems with people, getting their license renewed? I don't have a problem with this, I just was kind of just interested to see if we are having issues with people not renewing their licenses timely.
We get some that come in late, and so this is an additional, this is a penalty that just encourages people to get them in on time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Hanauer. Alderwoman Conley?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, and Greg, again, another question. What sort of notification process is there for liquor license holders with their licenses coming up for renewal?
I believe we send out one letter. I know, I'm not sure if Todd or Carla go out and talk with the owners, but I can get that information for you and check with that office.
Yeah, and if we could, I'd just like to make sure, since this is on consent agenda, that we make sure that we give notification to all liquor license holders that there is this new late fee. Kind of welcome to 2024, get your stuff in time, because otherwise there'll be a late fee. Since that's something new for people to adjust to.
Okay, we
Thank
can do
you.
that.
Thank you, Alderwoman Conley. Alderman Williams.
Yeah, so what is the current, if we're increasing, what are we increasing it from?
I can get that number. I believe it's $25 for a fine.
Okay, thank you.
Any other further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-593, an ordinance accepting the proposal from Traffic Control Corporation and authorizing the purchase and installation of Phase 2 of an emergency vehicle traffic preemption system in the amount not to exceed $256,250 for the Springfield Fire Department.
Move for consent.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
2023-594, an ordinance authorizing execution of a professional services agreement with Downtown Springfield, Inc. to provide economic growth within the downtown district of the city of Springfield in an amount not to exceed $50,000 for the Office of Planning and Economic Development.
Move for consent.
Move for debate, please.
Any discussion?
Well, we need a second
Oh,
for
I'm
debate.
sorry. Oh, well, yeah.
Second.
Nothing wrong with the debate.
Thank you.
Any discussion? I have,
Go ahead, Madam Chair.
no, Alderman Gregory.
I was just gonna invite the
Yeah, that's
good
what I was
members of
going- yeah.
DSI up to talk with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
We can do pass.
Hi, Gene, thank you.
Just hand them to us, we'll pass them out.
Please introduce yourself. Hi, Tony.
Good evening. My name is Tony Schuring. I'm the board chair for Downtown Springfield, Inc., and I will let Jean introduce herself.
Hi, good evening. Jean Bruner-Giacchino. I'm temporary, stepped in to help Downtown Springfield Incorporated. Thank you for having us.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Very honored.
And I've also got Brian Wojcicki here with us. Brian's a past board chair for DSI as well. So we handed out just a really short presentation to kind of walk through the work that DSI does. Thank you so much. And wanted to make you aware of the work we've been doing, the work we continue to do, and answer any questions that you have. So basically, the purpose of Downtown Springfield, Inc. is to encourage, promote, support a vibrant downtown, and we do that in a number of different ways. We are a business association, so we're a 501c6, and so we act as a business association for downtown businesses. We're also the designated Main Street entity, so we're part of the National Main Street Network on behalf of the city of Springfield. And so Main Street generally focuses on promoting and encouraging and enticing growth and development in downtown Springfield. And we do that really through kind of four different things. The first is we support the downtown businesses with resources that we have available. The second is that we try to market the downtown to existing businesses hoping to expand, and to entrepreneurs that want to come to downtown and create a business, start and grow a business. The third is we work to help fill vacancies. And the fourth is we try to increase consumer traffic. So once the businesses are there, once we've helped them grow, we want them to stay there, and the only way we can do that is through increased consumer traffic. The next kind of couple pages here talk about the work that we've done. We just finished up, for example, Holiday Walks, which is a really successful promotion that we do to encourage people to come downtown and Christmas shop and holiday shop and spend their time in the downtown. These numbers that we've got here are from 2022. We've just finished, obviously, so we don't have final numbers yet for 2023, but you can see that we've supported over 30 businesses. There's nearly $20,000 in weekly sales that are attributed to this promotion while it's been going on, for a total increase of over $75,000 in spending while the promotion's going on. The other thing, a couple other things that we do, for example, is the Rep the City promotion. We partner with the younger generation to try and get young people to be coming downtown, supporting the businesses, trying to find a reason for them to stay here and support the businesses that we have. Another really successful program that we have is the A-Sign, our partnership with A-Sign to do the downtown banners. So we're a part of kind of overseeing that in partnership with ACE and with the city. So when the banners go up downtown to support different businesses, to support different causes, it's all part of that program. But outside of that, we have kind of numerous other things that we do. For example, the Drive Grant, we've partnered with Isringhausen, and the Drive Grant is awarded once a year to an aspiring entrepreneur to either start or grow a business downtown. It has to be locally owned. It has to be downtown. And the focus really that Isringhausen and the DSI has pushed is it can't be cannibalizing other businesses. We're trying to find new businesses that complement, downtown Springfield. We love our bar owners and we love our bar community, but we're not trying to just open another bar, right? So the Wakery is a great example of that. It's a non-alcoholic late-night bar, so it's different. It's in a different category than just another 1 a.m. or 3 a.m. bar. So those are the types of businesses, the unique businesses that Drive Grant is designed to focus on. Through Momentum on Main Street, which is a committee that we've had for a few years, the work that we do is, in essence, trying to help people understand how to navigate the red tape that exists and how to, if you have an idea, basically how to get it from conception into action. So if you wanted to buy a building downtown and renovate it into apartments, if you wanted to buy a building downtown and move your business there, if you want to buy a building and live downtown, we try through the Momentum program to help you understand the process for doing that. And then we also do work on homeless outreach. This is an issue that is unique to downtown and is unique to urban cores. So we partner with the city, we partner with our social service agencies, with the local medical community, and with local law enforcement to try and help address the needs of the homeless population while at the same time addressing the needs of the business owners. And so we've been very fortunate there, and really we kind of see our goal as kind of helping facilitate, getting the needs of the homeless met and addressing the concerns that the business owner has. And in that way, I know for some of you this analogy might work. We're kind of like a homeowners association for downtown. We field a lot of those complaints that may otherwise go to the city and may otherwise go directly there, and we try to, in essence, help divert them to the appropriate resource and be supportive in that role. We also have a number of different efforts for activating downtown. Levitt Amp Music Series is a great example. We have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people that come downtown every week to listen to music. We've partnered with the Levitt Foundation and with the Downtown Springfield Heritage Foundation, so it's a multi-year partnership that we finished up for 2023, and we're already in the planning stages for 2024. So it's been a very successful effort. One of my personal favorites, frankly, is the Farmers Market Street Dinner. It's something that is really unique to downtown. You couldn't really replicate it anyplace else downtown. We have a dinner set up with local businesses for, it's a typical fundraiser, but it's set in downtown. It's set on the public square, and it is designed to help support the Old Capitol Farmers Market, which is another program that we operate, which, again, it says right here in our presentation, if you're on, I think it's slide 3, page 4, we have up to 5,000, we can have up to 5,000 people visit the farmers market in a week. And we have really advanced and really progressive resources available as a part of that. For example, SNAP benefits are accepted by vendors at the farmers market. We have a composting initiative to try and reduce food waste and to try and reduce waste overall. So it's something that is good for the community, it's good for downtown, and we're also trying to in addition to it being a revenue generator, we're trying to have it do good for the community as well. And then we're always involved in new business development. So there have been a number of new businesses that we've worked with to help, again, get from the idea stage to the, ribbon cutting stage. And so I know I've kind of rambled through a lot of things here really quickly. I do have a couple more things that we are happy to talk through, but I want to stop for a second and say, what questions can I answer? What questions can we answer?
Are there any questions?
If I may.
Alderman Gregory?
You want to go first, please? I just have a few questions. You mentioned Levitt. We have, what, two more years on our contract with them, or?
I believe it's either one or two. I believe that's correct.
I believe when we met, we was.
I can find that out for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, happy
I'll
to.
find that out. I asked that because, Levitt is a hit for our city and for downtown especially. We want to keep it going. So, hopefully if we are ending the near of our contract, we engage with them. I know when we did talk previously, they've done some fantastic things with cities and partnerships, around the country and other places that they do this at. So we want to keep them there. We want to keep those thousands and thousands of people coming downtown. We don't want to lose that momentum. So I think that's important for us. And my second and final question would be, is there a formal process? Like if I go downtown and I open up a business, is there a formal process that DSI engages in to introduce themselves to the business and things of that nature?
So, sorry.
Go ahead, Tony.
Well, I was going to say, Alderman, I don't know that there's, when you say formal process, I think of like a form, right? Do I fill out a form, anything like that?
Right,
No.
right.
We've tried to be proactively outreaching, proactively reaching out to people who are interested. And frankly, one of our best incubators for new businesses downtown has been the farmers market.
Okay.
So we are having those conversations with vendors at the farmers market because eventually they become storefronts downtown. Ceramics by Rosie is a great example. They were the most recent, the 2023 Isringhausen Drive grant winner. She started by selling her ceramics at a farmer's market, and she decided she wanted to make the commitment and take the leap and open a business downtown in a brick-and-mortar location. So we have a couple different ways. I don't know that it's necessarily an extremely formal process, but we do try to be very proactive in reaching out to people who are interested in starting a business downtown.
All right, that's cool. Thank you. I just wanted to do that. And I know some newer businesses that are trying to open up and have opened up. And I've always, have you talked to DSI and get with them and do that. So, I'll give you some names after this, too.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And Alderman Gregory, too, me and Brian are currently working on a welcome packet right now. So we'll be able to hand those out as we see those businesses coming in. And as you all contact and let us know that they're there, they'll have a packet that gives them a wealth of information about what's going on, how to get in contact with us, what do they need to do if they need to go for building permits or need to do their upstairs in the building, et cetera.
Lovely, beautiful. Lovely.
Alderman Williams.
Yeah, thank you for coming. This is a very nice report and some of the activities I participate in. Got a couple of questions that I just want to understand. So the $50,000, does that go to a certain salary or a certain person or the general pot or what?
So, yes and yes. It's the $50,000 is unrestricted as to use, but generally, it plays a big role in payment of salaries specifically. Our former executive director came to work for the city, and so our next executive director, that $50,000 would be going towards his or her salary. That's typically where it goes every year.
Alderman Williams, it's an awesome question because, now that I've been around the organization for over 23 years. Board, volunteered, several kinds of committees, and now that I'm inside working with Haley, there's just so much work that is going on that I was even amazed at all the great work that DSI does. So it's definitely a good question, and feel comfortable that there's a lot of work being done out of that office.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I can tell by the nature of the projects that this is a drop in the bucket. My other question goes to, if you didn't get the 50,000, which one of these projects wouldn't happen? Or, would cease? Or would it all still go on?
No, the answer to your question, the yes or no answer to your question is no. It would not all go on. We would have to find somewhere to cut. In some ways, you're asking me to pick which child had to go, because these are all really important projects and really important roles that DSI played. Honestly, it's that not having the city as a financial partner, I'll just be really blunt, Alderman, would be kind of a nightmare scenario for us. And so I don't know that I can give you an answer there, because I really hope I don't have to sit down with our board and make that decision.
Okay, I appreciate your answer and your forwardness. I ask these type of questions because what I get is we're agency too. The city doesn't give us 50,000, and we do great things too, as you do for downtown. I got just my own areas in my own ward. I'm quite sure they may or may not. I don't know. I only can speak for myself. When I put these kind of questions on record, people learn, and people understand a little more why a particular groups get certain monies for being in certain locations. So nothing personal, just asking important questions for my people that I got to go back and answer to. And thank you for coming again.
I completely understand. If I can add just one more thing, and this was in the page I didn't get to, because I think it really is going to have an impact citywide, is that DSI has been part of the coalition that's been advancing a master plan for the downtown and the medical district. And I understand that neither of those are in your ward specifically, but development within those areas will have impact, frankly, citywide, because it is going to drive the next essentially generation of decisions that get made about what gets built and where within downtown and within the medical district. And so that's, the next generation's worth of construction jobs, the next generation of resources for within those neighborhoods to be available, So and we've been a part of that with the Community Foundation, with the Growth Alliance, and with the city. So it is something that, the work we do, and I completely understand the concern, and I totally understand there's never enough money to go around. But, the work that we're doing, I would submit, has an impact on every ward, even though it's only focused on downtown specifically.
I can only hope so. Thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and I just wanted to end by saying, because this is an area that I represent, Alderman Williams, Tony just made a good point. It's just centrally located, but everyone from around the city is welcome, and I like that downtown is centrally located for everyone to get to. It's about the same amount of time. There's activities for everyone to do that reaches every pocket of the city, and just commend you all for the work that you do. A lot of people don't get to see the behind the scenes that make this engine run.
Thank you, everyone, as well, for the support and having us here.
No problem.
Thank you.
Is there any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Is there any unfinished business? Is there any new business?
Alderman.
Well, I get to go first because I pressed the button too. I just want to say Happy New Year to my colleagues, and Happy New Year to the entire city of Springfield, and I'll see all of you in 2024. Alderman Rockford?
Yeah, Director Fuchs.
That was your new business?
Yeah. You got to be nice.
I am.
With the news of the rail project being delayed, pushed back, that is not going to delay any demos, correct?
No, sir. The resources are available. The contract has been passed, and we're at the point now where it really is a matter of scheduling with the contractor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Rockford. Alderman Gregory?
Follow-up question, Director Fuchs, is that including the underpasses and all of that? The Jefferson and Madison underpasses will be completed still, or are we?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are on track. The funds that were not made available are concerned with usable segment 6, A and B, which is the far northern element of it. But to Alderman Rockford's question, the demolition of the houses on 10th Street, 10th and Reservoir. They're on North Grand, that's all been slated, and it's just a matter of scheduling the contractor to come and do the work.
And we'll be, of course, going back after that. Now, let me ask you, and I don't think we got an answer since we're talking about railroads and all of this. But have we got any more information from Hanson or anybody on the 19th Street tracks? And you know, the one off Laurel and Ash is just terrible. And when you ride over them, it's a rattle. You know, the boards in there themselves are rattling. And you know, I just you know, need an answer either way, what we're going to do. So
I have spoken to Hanson about that, and at any time that you would like a briefing on that, we'd be glad to put that together for you.
Thank you. I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, Alderman Gregory. Alderman Carlson.
Yeah, two things. You know, and I don't know, I guess the rail project is sometimes really out of our scope, but it does affect the city of Springfield, and I don't know if there's anything we can do, so as far as any resolution or a letter sent to DOT or anything like that, but I've gotten a few phone calls from my constituents saying, hey, you know, the city should do something. I'm like, well, it's not necessarily out of our scope, but at the same time, it does affect the city of Springfield.
Right, so I can talk with Public Works to see how that impacts us and who their contacts are and see if there's anything we can do. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, I just think a show of support that, hey, it does affect us, and you know, if something, just that, a show of support. And then number two, and I don't know if the chief is here, the chief of police, but, and, you know, I don't know if we all know or read, but I know there was an incident last night at the mall, 30 juveniles, and I think there were 3 arrests. And I've talked to the chief about this previously. I mean, you know, I guess it was in the center of their mall. I'm not, you know, I'm not pointing out any particular business there, but I think we got rid of that substation a few years ago, and I did bring it up to the chief, like I said, a few months ago. You know, we've got new businesses there. We've got Malibu Jacks coming in, and then obviously within a year or so, we have another 300 or 400 employees coming in at EPA. So I, for one, am going to continue the talks and talk to the chief about seeing what we can do to get that substation back in there in light of what happened last night. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Alderman Carlson. Alderman Hanauer.
Thank you. I'm glad you stayed up here, Dave. With the heavy traffic on Route 4 and especially coming in from like Piper Glen and that.
Yes, sir.
I've had to take that. I don't know why I didn't go the back roads, but I got a lot of complaints about some of the turn lanes and the lack of time that they give you. And I've experienced a few of them. Wabash is the absolute worst. If you can get, it seems like on Lindbergh, the one by Best Buy, and Wabash, they only allow you about 4 cars, but then what happens is, because there's a long line of cars, 3 more cars try to go through, and I know that there's an accident, you know, nothing like Sangamon, but there's accidents at Wabash and Route 4, it seems like every day, and I know it's DOT, but can we ask them if they can increase the time on the turn signals? It is a problem.
Our office has actually received a number of calls on this exact issue. I'd be more than happy to reach out to our colleagues at IDOT and engage in a discussion about that. Yes, sir.
And I mean, we can all probably talk about every stoplight in town, you know, but these, I know they are DOT, and it just, we could get at least, you know, enough for 10 cars or something. That at least gets the movement, and maybe it'll stop people from running the lights. So,
and that is dangerous, yes, sir.
So thank you.
I want to add to that because from Wabash turning onto Veterans, the light in the morning is just like you said, like it allows like maybe 2 cars. But other times of the day, it's more liberal. So I would imagine that they have it on some sort of a timer based on traffic
Timers are
flow.
off. Their timers are way off.
But yeah, so that's something to consider.
Any other discussion? Is there any citizen request to address committee, Mr. Clerk?
Alice Ramey.
Brought that up, Ralph, because I was out there when they want to rush through that turn signals. They're pretty bad, okay? I had a wreck there too about 20 years ago. So I want to thank Public Works for his diligent working. We had a little problem in our neighborhood where trash was in one house and somebody dropped it off, and then they left a mattress on my lot, which they know that's a no-no in that neighborhood. But he took care of it very fast. And I also want to thank the police department because we had a little problem with a trailer that was not parked right and full of trash overflowing onto the street. And he did come out, one of the officers did come out and took a report on it and has been looking and see where it's going to go next to be dropped off at. And the other thing is I want to thank you for everything you do up here. It's going to be a new year, and everybody is ready to get started. But I wish you all a happy new year, and the citizens and the people that come up here to visit and sit. I wish them all a happy new year, and God bless y'all.
Happy New Year, thank you.
Happy New Year.
That's all that is signed up, Madam Chair.
Is there any one from the audience who wishes to address the city council? Is there any executive session?
No, Madam Chair.
Can I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it.